Hello, welcome to GeoMobile for ArcGIS Online. This is a quick guide as to how to use the application. If you've loaded it on your tablet, then this is what you will see. This is the introductory screen. You can actually see we got a pop-up here which gives you a description of the application, contact information for us, and some tabs at the top which allow you to get more information about the application. To the extreme right there's a video demo which is like what you're going to look at here. It walks you through how to use the application. The second tab there is entitled how to add your own maps, or how to add your maps. Basically the application loads a configuration file. There's a URL, the default URL you'll see just there. That actually goes to our web server and loads our configuration file, but you can just as easily load your own configuration file, and that guide will walk you through how to do that. And all you would need to do is change that URL to point to your server, your configuration file, and it will load your layers. Let's load the default. What's going on here is we're actually loading a Utah oil and gas map. The first one that comes up is the first map that loads is the first one that's listed in the configuration file. You can see this is basically a published map that's in ArcGIS Online. We've actually just taken a simple base map layer and added some feature layers on top which are interactive, so we can actually hit a feature and we can get the attributes of that feature, similar to what you'd see if you were actually just logged into ArcGIS Online. Got the ability to zoom into that particular feature. It's highlighted and the box is easy to remove. Hitting full extent will actually load the map, take the map back to its full extent, and as you can see in the top right hand corner of the application there are a number of buttons. We'll just walk through those very quickly. You've just seen the full extent. The button to the right, to the left of that, the black button, is a geolocator. So if you hit that button, that will zoom you to your current location and add a marker to the map. The next button along is called Layers. That actually lists the layers that you're seeing visible in the map. The top buttons are for base layers. So the default is for the map, the base map that you loaded in ArcGIS Online for this particular web map. If you want to switch that out, you can do that. You can hit aerial, it'll load satellite imagery. There's also street and topo as other options there. Default obviously is the web map that you've got published. You've also got the ability to turn the layers on and off as well, and again in this case we've got feature layers, so we can turn off the layer we just interacted with, which was the oil and gas fields, and there's that. The next button is called Maps. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's hit the Tools button. As you can see, you can open and close this right hand tab by just hitting these buttons. So if I hit Tools again, that will get rid of that tab. If I hit Tools, it will open it up. We've got a couple of tools I want to talk about here. Geocoder is the first one. That's basically a reverse geocoder, so you type in an address and it'll actually go out, find the XY of that particular location, and then as long as it finds that location, it will zoom you to that particular place and add a marker to the map. So that's one of the tools we've got in the application. The other one is the overview. Let's just move the widget out of the way. So you can see here, you can actually find yourself as a reference point on where you are on the main map, and you can also zoom the main map from the overview map, and if you want to zoom the map as well, you'll see the overview map changing. So there's a couple of widgets there. Others can be added to the application, of course. Let's close that tools option. There's an About button as well, which will actually give you a guide as to how to use the application. The last one, which I mentioned earlier, is the Maps button. Now the Maps button is a window into the configuration file you loaded. So in our configuration file there are 3 maps, web maps that you could load. The first one is, of course, which is highlighted as Utah oil and gas. Let's just select the San Diego map. So we're actually pulling a map in here which is of San Diego. The points on the map are obviously, the features on the map are obviously points of interest, or POIs. If we hit those, let's hit that green one there, we should see, sometimes, there we go, it's a little slow in coming up. You'll actually see data about that point, similar to what we saw in the Utah oil and gas. In this case, there's actually imagery as well, and you can hit that image and it'll actually zoom you to the website, and there's links to websites as well. So there's a whole slew of different things that you can include within these attribute pop-ups that are metadata about that particular point. And the application itself will load as many web maps as you've got published. You just have to set that configuration file up. So play with the application. Would welcome your feedback on what you think of it, and enjoy. Thank you very much for watching.